Good evening, everybody. This is Rabbi Karen, and we're here for our Tuesday Maariv service. I'm glad you could join us tonight. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on seamshalom.com. We are all over the place. So I'm glad to be with you this evening. I'm glad you can join me this evening for our Tuesday Maariv service. So momentarily we will begin. I hope everyone is enjoying their Hanukkah. We lit our candles just a few minutes ago, and they glow so brightly. They're so beautiful to look at. And I hope everyone is being safe and healthy right now, as this is the holiday where everybody has a cold or the flu. So I just hope that everybody is well, happy, healthy, and staying warm. Joining us on our Zoom chat is Sephora and Ellen. So I'm glad they could join us this evening, and I'm glad you can join us for our Tuesday Maariv service. We'll just wait another few more seconds, and then we'll begin our Maariv. If you were on Facebook, you could type into the Restream chat and say hi to me. Let me know you're with us this evening. Okay, we're going to begin our Tuesday Maariv service. Hine matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, shevet achim gam yachad. Sephora, I don't think we're going to light the candles tonight. My husband and I took care of that already. But we're going to do a lot of trivia tonight on Hanukkah. Our call to praise, Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Praise Adonai, to whom our praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. Ha'ma'ariv aravim. We thank Adonai for separating light from dark and dark from light. And this is a miracle that we witness twice a day. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bivaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poter sharim, uvitvuna mishana itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umsader et hakochavim b'mishmoroteiim barakia kirtzono. With wisdom you open gateways, with understanding you alter times, vary the seasons and assign the stars to their watches in the sky. Creator of day and night, who rolls light away from darkness and darkness from light. You cause day to pass and bring about night, distinguishing between day and night. Source of all forces is your name. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. Let's see if anybody's in our chat. Let's see. Albert, good evening. Oh, thank you, Albert. That's sweet of you. Hello, my friend D. Yes, you've got snow and we don't, so that's good. Okay. Let's go back to our share screen. Everlasting love you offer your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night, we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now the prayer that states our creed, doesn't ask, but a statement for the world. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Blessed be the name of his glorious kingdom forever and ever. V'ahavta, and you shall love. And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, as you shall teach them diligently to your children. And you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you rise up, and when you lie down. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates, that you may remember my command, that you may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy, holy unto your God. Mi chamocha balim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh noratihilo tosei. And as the women marched through Adonai's miracle of parting the Red Sea, they sang, "Who is like you, O God, amongst the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders?" Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praise are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'achamidenu malkeinu l'chayim ufrosh aleinu sukat shalom mecha. Adonai, bless us in these troubled times. Bless those who are stricken with disease, hostility, war, famine, and sorrow. You are a protecting power. Please spare us, Adonai. Bless us with your mercy, your compassion, your love, and your forgiveness. Baruch atah Adonai, haporesh sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Eternal One, who spreads your shelter of peace over us, over your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah b'yamad yivrach Yerutei v'yomlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yo omechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'gala uv'zman kariv v'yimaru amen yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach li'olam li'omei amaya yitbarach Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yipar, v'yiroman, v'yinaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitala, shmeid kudusha b'richu, le'elam mikol bechata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram b'yalma, v'yimaru, amen. And now the prayer where we ask Adonai to remember promises that were made to our ancestors, promises we're hoping will be kept for us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibur v'Hanorah El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imaot, Umevi ula livnei v'nehem leman shemo ba'ahava. Melech ozer umoshia umagen baruch atah Adonai magen Abraham ve'ezrat Sarah. And here we say givurah, strength. Adonai is all the strength we need. Adonai gives life to the living. Adonai is the only superpower that we need in our lives. Ata gibor li'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol et arav lahoshia, mechakeh chaim bechesed, mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim berofei cholim, umatir asurim, umkayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha bal givurot, Umidol melach melech memid, umkayem, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'neman ata lahayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechaye hakol. Well, Chag Sameach, everybody. Chag Sameach, Chag Hanukkah Sameach. May your candles be bright and joyous and keeping you warm on these cold winter nights. Even in Florida, we're going to get down to the 40s this weekend. So that's pretty cold for us, yeah. My friend asked if I had an ice scraper. No, I don't. Okay, and so I want to talk about Hanukkah because there's so much to Hanukkah. We mostly have heard about Hanukkah since we were little kids. But think of all that you haven't learned. What's the story behind gelt? Gelt are foil-covered chocolate coins, usually come in a mesh bag, and sometimes you eat them when you play dreidel, or sometimes you just eat them. Gelt means money in Yiddish. Originally, it was actually money. Connects to the coins minted by the Hashmonaeans in the Hanukkah story. Coinage began in 142 BCE and had a menorah on it. Starting in 1958, Israel made commemorative Hanukkah coins to use as gelt in dreidel. The first one had the same menorah as the Hashmonaeans. In 1972, they made them with a Russian menorah, and in 1976, they made colonial menorah design on the coin. Each year, they honor a different Jewish community around the world. In the 1700s in Europe, children would be given coins to give to their usually unpaid teachers on Hanukkah. Later, children also got coins to encourage their studies with the idea that these coins would be set aside for future studies. In the 1920s, the giving of gelt ranged from coins to savings bonds in greeting cards, which became more popular between friends. To capitalize on this in the 1920s, Lofts Candy started producing gold-covered coins, also called gelt. Most gelt today is produced by Elite and Carmit companies in Israel. Isn't that all you wanted to know about gelt? Let's learn about Hanukkah presents. Originally, just coins were given at Hanukkah. Jews only gave gifts on Purim as part of Shaloch Manot. In the late 1800s, Christmas became more commercialized and focused on gift giving and buying instead of the religious aspect of the holiday. In the 1920s, advertisers began advertising their wares as suitable gifts for Hanukkah in the Yiddish papers. In the 1940s, Hanukkah-specific products started to be made, like think of Hanukkah pot holders and Hanukkah greeting cards. In the 1940s, Judaica wholesalers began, as the aftermath of the Holocaust, making American Jews feel the future of world Jewry rests on their shoulders. In the 1950s, giving Hanukkah gifts to children took off as child psychologists and rabbis encouraged it as a way to make kids like being Jewish instead of sad about not having Christmas. In the 1980s, child center Hanukkah items like stickers and gelt-filled dreidels began to take off with the arrival of the millennials. That's my son. In the 1990s, Judaic wholesalers get Hanukkah a spot on the department store shelves. Giving gifts on Hanukkah is still more of an American thing. Let's skip the Hanukkah story. What's the story behind candles? Many cultures have a candle lighting holiday in the winter, bringing light to the darkness, such as the Zoroastrian winter solstice holiday. In the Babylonian Talmud, one explanation for Hanukkah is that Adam saw the light lasting for fewer and fewer hours in winter, but then increasing in length, and so he made a holiday to celebrate the return of light. Josephus in 70 CE says that Hanukkah is called lights, though he's not sure why. The temple has a 7-branch menorah, also the modern Hebrew word for lamp. A Hanukkah menorah is technically called a Chanukiah. The Babylonian Talmud also said one should not use the Hanukkah lights for anything, but it was okay to light another light pre-electricity, one needing lights to see after dark. This later became the origin of the shamash. The Hanukkah in Talmudic times was also made from clay or stone, or sometimes metal, and had 8 holes for wicks. In the 1880s, candles became mass-produced and affordable for the masses. In the 1940s, brass Hanukkiot are mass-produced. In the 1960s, electric Hanukkiah are mass-produced. Nowadays, one should light the shamash, then say the blessings, then start lighting the candles. Wasn't that everything you wanted to know about candles? And now, what's the story behind latkes? Latkes are potato pancakes fried in oil to remember the rekindling of the menorah. Coincidentally, the Judean olive harvest finished right around the 25th of Kislev, which is when Hanukkah begins. In Eastern Europe, olive oil was super expensive, so the frying agent of choice was goose fat. Geese were being slaughtered in the winter, so goose fat was plentiful and cheap. But if you keep kosher, you can't fry cheese pancakes in goose fat, so the pancakes became buckwheat ones, supposedly what the Maccabees ate, and very similar to the Russian Bellini. By the 1800s, potatoes had migrated from South America Andes to Europe. Over the next 200 years, they went from animal feed to prison food to plentiful food for the masses, especially in the winter. This led to Eastern European potato pancakes in the 1800s, which were called latkes in Yiddish, levivot in Hebrew. Latkes elevated the usual boil or mashed potatoes into a great holiday treat, and they spell it Grate. In 1927, latke first entered the Oxford English Dictionary. Sephardic latke recipe includes zucchini and garlic rather than potatoes and onions. The yogurt topping is omitted when serving meat. Other recipes include spinach in the Mediterranean, curried sweet potato in modern America, meat and herb in Syria, chard in North Africa, rice in Italy, chicken, fish, scallion, and ginger in India. What's the story behind sufganiyot? Is there anybody who doesn't know sufganiyot? Little jelly donuts. North African Jews ate sweet fried balls of dough on Hanukkah, which were called sfenge. In the year 1000 CE, Maimonides' father said not to make fun of eating sufganim because it's the custom of the ancient ones. Sufganim came from the Talmudic term spongy. In 1485, a Nuremberg cookbook published the first recipe for jam-filled donuts. Until this time, donuts were savory. In the 1500s, Caribbean sugar plantations made sugar available for not much money, so sweet donuts became a thing. Sugar made fruit preserves possible, so jelly donuts spread across Northern Europe as a holiday treat. They went from Germany to Polish, and then they became known as ponchiks, fried in goose fat or oil instead of lard. In the early 1900s, Polish and German Jews brought the idea of ponchkits on Hanukkah to the land of Israel, where they met the North African sfenge. The donut became known as sufganiyah. Let's see. In the 1920s, the Histadrut, the National Israeli Labor Union, pushed for sufganiyot to become more widespread. The reason is that latkes could be made at home, while sufganiyot provided jobs to Jewish bakers. And by the way, you got to see some of these sufganiyot that they make in Israel. It's enough to make me get another insulin shot. They're gorgeous. In the 1970s, American Jews who visited or studied in Israel, as well as Israeli Jews who were in the U.S., started to popularize sufganiyot in the U.S. 100 years after this Histadrut's efforts to popularize sufganiyot, Israelis now eat 18 million sufganiyot all year. Okay, 18 million. Wow. And they are gorgeous. So, food and customs from around the world. In southern India, they eat gulab jamnun, a milk-based ball of dough that's deep-fried and drenched in sugar syrup. North Africa, hanging the menorah near the mezuzah. North African menorahs have a ring on top and a flat metal back, and this is done to protect the house. Romania and Austria, using potatoes to make the menorah. Each potato is carved out to have space for oil and wick, and you add a potato each night. This dates to a time of economic hardships. Syria, an extra shamus each night, either to honor Adonai or their non-Jewish neighbors who welcomed them when they were refugees from Spain. Israel, outdoor menorah aquariums, as per the Talmud, says the menorah should be outside for all to see. The glass box keeps the wind from blowing out the lights. North Africa, Greece, and the Middle East, Chag Habanot, the festival of women, Eid al-Baneh. On Rosh Chodesh Tevat, women and girls don't work and gather to celebrate the story of Judith. They eat sweets and fried treats, sing in the night, and go to synagogue to kiss the Torah. France, neighborhood wine tastings, of course. The Saturday night of Hanukkah, each family opens a bottle of local wine and makes a toast to the miracles of Hanukkah, then visits other families to see what bottles they choose. North Africa and the Middle East, no work while the candles are lit, since the candles aren't to be used for anything beside enjoying them. There's a custom that while the candles are lit, women don't do any work that they couldn't do on Shabbat. Morocco, the 9th night of Hanukkah, during the 8th day of Hanukkah, children gather the leftover cotton wicks, and then the community makes a large bonfire to celebrate the end of Hanukkah. Alsace, France, double-decker menorahs to allow multiple people to light at the same time. Yemen, the 7th night is set aside as a women's holiday in celebration of Hannah, who gave up her 7 sons as martyrs to Adonai. Colombia, eating fried plantains, the fried bananas. Ethiopia and India historically know Hanukkah. The communities were isolated before Hanukkah became a holiday, so they didn't know about it till they reunited with the rest of the people in the 20th century. Afghanistan, oil plates. When Persian Jews left Afghanistan in 1839, they weren't sure how their neighbors would feel about public displays of Jewishness. So they put 8 plates with some oil together. If somebody visited who wasn't friendly, the plates would be put around the house. Morocco, sfenj, fried donuts with the zest and juice of an orange. Jaffa oranges come into season this time, so oranges became associated with Hanukkah. And Jerusalem, menorah cutouts in buildings. Before the glass box was developed, buildings were made with special spots on the outside for putting in a menorah. So I hope you enjoyed the little story of Hanukkah from around the world, the little customs and where they all came from. Excuse me, now I have hiccups. I just thought that would be interesting because we all know about dreidels and Judah Maccabee, and so I just thought I'd be different. Excuse me?
That yeah. I do have a question, on the guilt.
Yeah.
We went to a party last night at the temple and probably got a dirty look from somebody because they had them the queens, and I have to look and there was a ship, it looked like a sailing ship. I go, what? Why do they have a pirate ship on there? And they go, pirate ship? I go, yeah, it looks like a little pirate ship. So I don't know, maybe it was just a sailing ship, but
we went to a Hanukkah party the first night, and all our friends brought each Hanukkah and we lit them together. And somebody brought in lots and lots of the gelt. And they had pictures of John Kennedy and George Washington. They were shaped like American coins.
oh darn.
The chocolate was just as delicious.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's go back. And now let's take a moment to listen to the prayers in our hearts and our mind. Oh, say shalom bimrumah. Uyase shalom aleinu. Me'ako Yisrael. Imru, amen. May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, let peace descend on us in all Israel, and let us say amen. And we're going to begin our Mishabera prayer. So please type in names of those who need our healing prayers. I'm sorry to say my list is getting longer and longer. Joyce and Sid, Katie and Luna, Chris, Robin, Riley, daughter of Brandy, Elizabeth's daughter, Hannah Batleola, Joel, Susie, Ronnie, Seal's daughter, Diane, Rabbi Allison's daughter, Sheila Simbrioni, Alan, Miriam Bat Shulamit, Carrie, daughter of Bonnie. Okay, let me go to the different chats. Okay. Although suffering physically and emotionally, Carol Pontias, Heidi Lute, David with cancer, Elias's grandmother, Franny, all who suffer PTSD, Dorothy, Mark, Marlene, Jean, Mary, Sue, Jimmy, and his father. All Sim Shalom is in need of refuah shlema. You'll forgive me, I found out that my cataracts will soon be taken out. And so you see me coming very close to the screen because I can't see it. So if it looks like I'm giving you the eye, it's because I can't see. I'll wait a few more minutes. Usually Marvin writes in some names. Ellen Rose usually writes in some names. Oh, Rabbi Karen, thank you. I'm not that sick. Rose, Diana, Pastor Bob Martin. Ellen, I'll let you know when the surgery is, then I'll take your Mishabera prayers. Jenny Bat Nina, Marlene Bat Chaya, Ginny Bat Juana. All my friends and neighbors who seem to have colds, the flu, upper respiratories, and COVID. Sumery Bowers, if you live in South Florida, you're going to get that surgery. When my doctor said to me, you have a cataract, I said, of course I do. I live in Florida. But he said to me, it's getting to that time. And I said, I could tell. Dawn Alnut Nelson, Respado Karen Quinn. Everyone who is ill and are loving pets that are sick or afflicted in the world. Okay, we're going to go back to our Mishe Beirach Avotenu Meho Habraha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Beirach Imotenu Meho Habraha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of spirit, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. I went to see my doctor this week, my ENT, because I'm always getting sinuses. I sneeze twice a day. And I said, but I've been tested. I don't have allergies, but during allergy season, I'm always coughing. He says, I have sympathy allergies. He says, it's a real thing. Sympathy sinus rhinitis. I said, okay, it's fine. I don't have allergies, but I guess my nose is in sympathy with everyone who does. So I have a very kind nose. I'm in sympathy with everybody. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kikoye haratzot, v'lo samanu kimishpuchot hadama, shelo sam helkenu kahem, v'goralenu kichol hamanam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, machei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, V'ne'eman V'haya Adonai L'melech HaKoretz V'yom hahu Yeh Adonai Echad U'shmo Echad. We recall the loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at the season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. The memories of all of them are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we praise Adonai and pray for the coming of his kingdom. Yit gadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad divrah hirutei v'yamlich malhutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, Bagalaz uvizman kari v'yimru amen. Yeheshmei Rabba mivorach li'olam olmei amaya. Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yivroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal. Shmei d'kudisha b'rechu. Le'ilam min kol b'chata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Tamiram v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehesh lamar Rabba min shemaya. V'chayim olenu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael, v'yimu amen. And may all those who are in mourning be comforted by the one who comforts all. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me this evening. Thank you. Have a Chag Hanukkah Sameach. May your light shine bright. May you stay warm. May you be healthy. May you be happy.
Toda rabba, Rabbi.
Be well, everyone. Take care.
Hag Sameach. Shavua Tov, everyone.
And Sephora, I'm sorry we didn't light the candles for you, but I gave you a tour around the world instead. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.